Hey guys, it's Zid with another keyboard quickie. Today, I want to talk real quick about one of my first big keyboards, the Roland W-30. Thing was amazing. We're talking about two main functions. It was a music workstation, one of the first ever, and it was a sample-based keyboard. And this is before anyone knew what the hell that meant. I'll get into that in a minute. But when you turned the thing on, nothing happened. Nothing! It didn't make a sound. Guess what? First you had to put the operating system on it. Every time you turned it on. Operating system, right? Then you needed these. This was your piano and this was your guitar. It was like, this, you know, and these you're talking about like maybe 4 patches maximum per disc. So I remember once I was at a gig. We're right in the middle of a song and I got a piano solo coming up and somebody unplugged my extension cord. I shit you not. So all of a sudden I'm dead. So I'm like, uh-oh, song's still going. I'm loading the operating system. Hurry up, hurry up. And then I'm loading my piano and like the song's over and I still don't have a piano. So I mean, I'll tell you, this keyboard was not for gigging. It was the first decent workstation, a sequencer. 8 tracks. You could have, you know, for your drums and your bass, your keyboards, all this stuff, and you could sequence it all out and have a nice, you know, 8-track song. And like, there was no DAW yet, there were no computers, so that's all you got. You got 8 tracks, but it was amazing because you could, you know, overdub yourself and start making music for the first time ever on a keyboard. And then the other thing about it was, you know, it was a sampler. So it was a sample-based keyboard. So, you know, for a piano, they had sampled middle C and then stretched it down to like a G and up to an E. And then they'd do another sample to cover a few more notes. And at the end of the day, you had a piano. In fact, the demo was so lame, it was like a woman's voice. But that's what sold me on it, and I had to get it. I mean, listen to this. And I bought it anyway. So I go to a friend's music store. My best friend owned Zaff's Music in Philadelphia, and anyone from the area of Philadelphia knows these stores. They were legends. And I go in the keyboard department, and the guy's like, "Hey man, you got the W-30?" He's like, "You need these." He hands me a stack of discs, and my jaw dropped. The Philadelphia area had a lot of good rap music back then. There was no hip hop yet. It was the very first time anyone sampled music. And they'd take a record like James Brown and they'd sample the drum beat into this keyboard and loop it. The word loop first happened on the W-30. It was like stuff like this, like, you hear that beat? That's the W-30. So he gives me all these discs. There's drum machines and bass lines and this guy and that guy. So I copied them. I spent like an hour and a half and I went home with my copies and I have them to this day. These are not them or I would not be throwing them on the floor. These are God knows what that I stumbled across. So all of a sudden the hip hop community had made this the greatest keyboard of the day. And the funny thing is Roland never knew that they made something. They didn't demo it. They didn't advertise it. They had no idea. They had made the best hip hop keyboard ever, and it was the first ever real sampler, the first ever drum loops, and like it is responsible for hip hop as we know it today, this one keyboard. And I bought it because it went do 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 do. So I mean, I'll tell you. So anyway, the other thing about this keyboard was it came out the same time as another famous keyboard, the Korg M1, and the two were at war. And I will not tell you that today because that will be a whole nother episode. Anyway, the W-30, coolest, craziest, accidental legend ever made. I'm Zid, thanks guys.